They go a lot higher. So by the end of next year, people should be eyeballing a 10-year note in and around 3.5%. And when you look at the Fed, they're talking about 3 rate hikes next year. The reality is it's probably 4, if not more, because we're in a new regime. Think of the underlying dynamics. We are now going to get a big fiscal boost. That's great for growth. It's great for inflation, and actually terrible for fixed income.
Some investors were caught by surprise when the Fed hinted at 3. You're saying 4 or more. That suggests we have a big adjustment to go in bond markets. When you look at how investors are pricing their expectations today, what happens when we get above that 3% level on the 10-year? Are we going to look at liquidity concerns? Will there be a negative knock-on effect on equities? What does this look like?
Well, no, because ultimately, that will be the 10-year rising for the right reason. It's rising actually because intrinsically growth is stronger, inflation's stronger, and remember, we're in a new regime now. People need to latch onto that. We're in a new regime where monetary policy is dead, and it's about fiscal policy taking over. That really ignites growth.
The big difference, though, between fiscal policy and monetary policy is that the fiscal policy has plenty of loops to jump through, if you will, to get approval. And there's so much uncertainty still over what exactly Donald Trump's fiscal package will look like, what he can get through to Congress. So does that suggest to you there are still some risks in investors getting ahead of themselves on the reflation trade, or do you think it's coming either way?
It's coming either way, and remember there's 2 parts to it. Yes, there's some implementation risk, but I suspect a lot of those policies will get through. The other thing it does, though, is it ignites animal spirits. And when you get that going, think what economies are. It ignites confidence. It gives investors the ability to invest that marginal dollar more. That's great for growth.
And do you see those animal spirits jumping across the Atlantic at all? Are we going to see coattail effect when it comes to the European market?
Yeah, no, there'll definitely be a spillover effect. When you look at Europe, actually, it's remarkable, but this year, Europe could well outgrow the United States. So already you've got Europe growing above trend, and remember, the ECB is still remarkably accommodative. They've just given us more forward guidance and extended QE to the end of next year.
Well, that may help explain why we're seeing this massive gap still between the U.S. and the German bund yields. In fact, we were talking at the top of the show, highest in 26 years. But you seem to think that the growth prospects are better than what those yields reflect in European bonds.
They are, but you still get that divergence. It's really about that differential in central bank policy. And remember, the ECB look at inflation and it's not satisfactory. Even in 2019, they've got inflation at 1.7%, way beneath target. Yeah. So they keep going on that monetary easing accelerator. So you probably see a wider spread, Germany, US, and actually the euro still takes the strain.